One of the input methods for swinging the club is using a horizontal real-time swing. You can set that under Settings, Controls, make sure you're on mouse and keyboard, and go to Real-Time Swing Horizontal. This, when you swing, when you move the mouse in a horizontal fashion on your mouse pad, i.e. left to right, it will move the avatar and the player, the animation, and you can execute the swing that way instead of using the meter. The swing is on the meter. You would have to start and complete your swing within the meter. On the real-time swing, you can do it anywhere on the screen. It doesn't need to be within the meter. And as you can see, there really isn't a meter to execute the swing within. But like similar to motion swing, horizontal, the mouse will move horizontally to the right on your backswing, and then to the left on your downswing or forward swing, at least for a right-handed player. And your swing must, if you start, let's say, on this edge of the mow line, if you go back here, you have to go beyond that, otherwise the swing will not occur. So let's do one here. Unfortunately, you can't see the mouse movement with the cursor on the screen because it disappears when you right-click to start your motion, your real-time swing. Again, when you right-click, the meter or the marks, the icons near the meter will stop, or will disappear, sorry, and then the only one that remains is the bottom right one. And once you start moving your mouse to the right, it turns red to signify that you've started your swing. That's critical because, like the motion swing, you want your ratio to be 0.25. So you can start, you can right-click the swing to get it started, but you don't move the mouse, and you can sit here for 5-10 minutes even. Go get a drink, whatever. The ratio for the timing of your backswing to downswing doesn't start until you move the mouse. Again, that ratio should be 0.25, meaning that your forward swing should be 1/4 of the time that it takes for your backswing. And note that your backswing time includes any pause that you have at the top. So now I've paused here for 4 or 5 seconds. I'll need to make about a 1 or 2 second downswing. Obviously I was a little fast, and with the ratio of 0.15. Yeah, you won't want to pause for 2 or 3 seconds at the top, because your entire swing needs to be complete within 3 seconds. Otherwise, you're going to lose significant distance. You'll see I hit 98% power, which should be close to 270 yard carry. I only get 187 yard carry. That's because my swing took more than 3 seconds to complete. As a matter of fact, it took 4.5 seconds. So this is in the console. If you bring up the console with F8, you can see the results of your bad swings. Anyway, it won't log anything on a good swing. But F8 is the default key to bring up the console. Click on the clear button to clear it out, and then you can start seeing really what's happening. So again, if you go back nice and slow, pause and go forward, if you can get your 0.25 ratio, that was pretty good, 103%. So hopefully I've got a good amount of carry, 270 yards-ish of carry, and I had 265 carry and 294 That's because I completed the swing within 3 seconds. Because of that, there'll be nothing logged in the console. Now, if I take a slow, very deliberate swing and pause at the top, even though my ratio is, well, it's not quite 0.25, it's 0.2, I had 99% power, so again, I should be close to that 260, 270 carry, but I'm only at 200 yards carry. Again, that's because my swing took much longer than 3 seconds. So you want to keep your swing within 3 seconds. I like to take it back, have a brief pause at the top, and then go forward. That's the way I've learned to make a reasonable swing with close to 100% power and close to, hopefully, a 0.25 ratio. Right click to start, take it back. That was a little fast, so I gotta go forward a little quicker than I would normally, but there I was able to adjust quick enough, and there's 0.24 ratio at 98% power. I suspect it'll carry about 255. So the motion swing horizontal, dependent on the ratio and the power, obviously. And that ratio I find is set where I can end up with a decent ratio by, by changing your mouse sensitivity settings. Right now, I think my mouse sensitivity is set at 1.8, I think, which means I'm moving the mouse a little bit yes, 1.8. I normally like it at 2.8 for RTS, real-time swing. This allows me to have a little better, smoother backswing and a downswing. Now this one, it looks like I maybe took too long to swing. Yeah, 3.3 seconds. But I like the way it feels better at 2.8 versus 1.8. But both can be used. There's no right or wrong. You can go higher sensitivity, you can use a lower sensitivity, whatever works for you, for your swing. And again, you just want to try and get that ratio close to 0.25 and to hit straight shots. You can make a hook or a draw with horizontal real-time swing by moving the mouse in sort of this direction. Maybe starting at about 9:30, going to 3:30, and then back up to 9:30. So in a bit of an angle, we'll promote a bit of a draw. Oh, well, that one had a bad ratio, which pushed it well out to the right. Again, my settings are on Tour Pro, so any miss is quite severe. So there was one where my ratio was almost bang on. Power was right at 100, but my path, as you can see, was 9 degrees in to out, and that resulted in a nice little draw. That again, we had decent carry, total distance at 275 yards. Similarly, you can make a fade or a slice by swinging from perhaps, let's say, 8:30 to about 2:30. Again, my natural swing tends to have a ratio slightly higher than 0.25, and that time it was 0.42. So I very seldom will play in a intentional fade, because again, I often have an intentional fade, but there was one there. I hit 0.24. Should have been, if anything, a little bit to the left or pretty straight, and that one, as you can see, went off to the right because of that swing path out 27 degrees out to in. Again, 270 yards. You don't want to get too slow, i.e. over 3 seconds, or your distance, even though your power is at 100%, your distance is drastically reduced. There's 200-yard shot because my swing was 3.3 seconds long. So that's the motion swing horizontal. Again, you have a lot of control over the ball flight if you can move the mouse properly, and of course if you understand what the inputs to the shot trajectory are. You can use the shot shaper to force a draw or a hook with a straight swing path. That was 25%, so that should have been, I was on plane, should have been straight, but it has a draw. But as you can see, I can draw it a lot more with my swing path than I can with the shot shaper, which sometimes is a good thing, other times maybe not. Again, if I try and hit this straight, well, it was actually a little bit slow, but you saw it sort of compensated for that. It tried to hook into back in against my poor ratio and ended up in a reasonably straight shot. A high and low trajectory can only be adjusted by the shot shaper, though. There's no way to do it with your horizontal real-time swing. So I hope that helps demystify, let's call it, the Rtsh horizontal swing method to make shots in the game.